All right, team, so yeah, here's the deal. Right now, go ahead and kill the steam up top, Josh. Other one first, please. Yes. Excellent, and then rotate that down slowly. Yeah, that's fine. Just close it up, that's great. What we're going to do is we are going to knock this temperature down by running through the heat exchanger. What we're going to do is, I'm gonna have one of you bring the knockout house over here and have it over here by this drain. Josh, you need to open kettle drain, open that valve there, and then you open up the arm going down. Turn the pump down to 3 and turn the pump on. All right, so what we're doing right now is we are blowing all of the sanitizer out of the heat exchanger. Again, this is an atypical process, Andy. We're gonna blow cold wort all the way through this. So you're gonna see this go to wort. You can turn that up to 4. And then in a moment, I'm gonna have you cut it, and then she's gonna close her valve, but only after the pump is off. Starting to get to work. Let's wait. Hold, hold. All right, cut the pump, please. And then you can close your valve. Turn that pump on, the CLT pump, up to 25 hertz, please. Now, Josh, what I would do is straddle that, hold it with your knees. All right, now then I'll come up here. Okay, so what we have going on right now is we are pushing wort through the heat exchanger and then looping it back into the kettle below the liquid line there. The reason that we're doing that is we are dropping the temperature of the kettle. The reason we're dropping the temperature of the kettle is we want to do our whirlpool stand, our hot stand, at 170 degrees as opposed to 210 degrees. As a result of doing our hot stand at 170 degrees as opposed to 210 degrees, we will generate less bitterness, but be able to get more hop flavor and aroma compounds into the beer. This is one of the big techniques that we're using in order to get as much hop flavor and aroma into our IPAs. When the temperature of the kettle gets down to 170, we will kill this process of cooling down the wort and then returning it to the kettle. We will begin whirlpooling the kettle at 170 degrees and then adding our 11 pounds each of Cryo Mosaic and Cryo Citra and our 13 pounds of T90 pellet or traditional pellet Idaho 7. Andy, this is us dropping the temperature of this kettle down. You can see right here that our temperature is dropping. We're gonna take this down to 170. And then we'll do our first hop strike for this IPA, which is at a reduced temperature whirlpool. Okay, you can see our kettle starting to turn a little bit. We're starting the whirlpool. That's gonna continue to catch up here. You see some of that hop break rolling around. See it starting to spin around here. And then Josh is gonna start adding these hops. I'm gonna speed this whirlpool up just real quick, Josh. All right, so our kettle is now 170 degrees. Go ahead and start pouring right into that flow portion. And this is 11 pounds of Cryo Mosaic going in. They smell fantastic. Again, Cryo is just a version of hot pellet that has, in general, just has lower green matter, less vegetal matter. Here is our T90 pellets of Idaho 7. We're looking to pull like a nice tropical pineapple note off of these through this application. And then next up is Citra, just kind of that granddaddy tropical hop, mango, goodness, stuff like that. So we got all these hops into the whirlpool now. The whole thing looks pretty green if you can't tell. Go ahead and close up the top, Josh. Please set a timer for 5 minutes. All right, so we have the whirlpool going right now. Josh added all the hops that we're putting in there. We're gonna let that spin for 5 minutes. We will cut the pump at 5 minutes, give it a 25-minute rest, and then we're gonna start running that off through the heat exchanger to cool the wort off and running it to the fermenter. All right, hey everybody, we are now taking finished wort from the kettle through the heat exchanger, cooling it down and sending it to the fermenter, and I'm gonna walk you through that right now. All right, so right here, we have cool wort at 67 degrees coming out of the heat exchanger. The heat exchanger works by sending in hot wort right here, sending in cold water from the back. That cold water comes out hot because it's running on the other side of these stacked plates right here. And so it exchanges the heat from the hot wort to the cold water, making the cold water hot, making the wort cold, and it is now coming out here and it is running through this line. Maggie, through this line to this tank. You might even be able to see like a little greenish tint on this wort right now. I'm finding that when I use cryo, there is a greenish tint to it. I think it's because of the high oil level and stuff like that. If it's something else, you can call me dumb. We also have the bucket, our blow-off bucket, that is showing how we are displacing the atmosphere inside the sanitized fermenter. Later, when fermentation starts, this will actually be off-gassing bubbles, but in that case, it will actually be CO2. It's gonna take us about 40 minutes to run this off from top to bottom. In the meantime, our girl Maggie's blowing a little yeast and fruit puree down the drain because we're gonna be dry hopping our good friend Huey, our first fruited standard IPA. And that's it. Love you, Andy. Bye.